Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Rahul Gandhi's Videshi Mannat from foreign soil is now turning out to be a reality. More than 3 weeks ago, Rahul Gandhi on so-called crusaders of democracy, namely US and the European Union, to break their silence on the huge chunk of democracy model that had virtually come undone in India, according to him. This was enough for US to watch Gandhi signs case in all courts, but today Germany too rushed in to lecture India on fundamental democratic principles. First, listen in to Rahul Gandhi's comment made in London just a couple of weeks ago.
How would you react if something, a structure 3.5 times Europe suddenly went non-democratic? Right? That's happened already. That's not something that is going to happen in the future. That's already happened. But there's no reaction. And you know, if we're talking about Europe, that's the thing that shocks me. There's no reaction. Right? And of course, there are reasons for there not being a reaction. There is sort of trade and there's money and stuff like that. But Indian democracy is a public good. And if you're looking at the democratic structure, it is the single most important public good.
The Foreign Affairs Ministry of Germany today said that they hope that the standards of judicial independence and fundamental democratic principles would be applied in Rahul Gandhi's case. Also, the ministry spokesperson asserted that Germany is watching Rahul Gandhi's case in Indian courts. Listen in.
Wir haben das erstinstanzliche Urteil gegen den indischen Oppositionspolitiker Rahul Gandhi zur Kenntnis genommen, ebenso wie die Suspendierung seines Parlamentsmandats. Nach unserer Kenntnis stehen Herrn Gandhi gegen das Urteil Rechtsmittel offen. Dann wird sich zeigen, ob dieses Urteil Bestand hat und ob die Voraussetzung für die Suspendierung des Mandats überhaupt gegeben ist. Wir erwarten, dass die Standards in Bezug auf die Unabhängigkeit der Justiz und demokratische Grundprinzipien auch für das Verfahren gegen Rahul Gandhi gelten.
But ladies and gentlemen, this is not the first time when the Congress party has sought foreign intervention on India's issues. In 2019, Congress's Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, the leader in the Lok Sabha, raised a massive storm after claiming that Kashmir could not be an internal matter since the United Nations has been monitoring it since 1948. Completely outraging people not just inside Parliament but outside it too. Mani Shankar Iyer, senior leader of the Congress party, in 2015 stoked controversy by reportedly saying during a panel discussion on a Pakistani news channel that Prime Minister Modi needs to be removed if talks between the two nations have to resume. And he said, "Hamari madad kijiye," seeking help from Pakistan. That same year, another veteran Congress Neta, Salman Khurshid, hailed Nawaz Sharif for attending the swearing-in ceremony of Prime Minister Modi and said that what India did after his visit made things uncomfortable for Pakistan, virtually worrying more about Pakistan than India. And during UPA-1 in 2008, the Congress and Communist Party of China also got together to sign an MOU. With US and Germany now taking note, the Congress also celebrated, claiming vindication. The tweet by Digvijay Singh set the cat amongst the pigeon. Listen in to the Congress reactions.
Media from all over the world, they are writing against this sentence against Rahul Gandhi. Bharatiya Janata Party should learn a lesson from this. So many leaders of BJP are raising questions against us, why they are protesting, काले कपड़े क्यों पहन रहे हैं. They should go through the statement of these leaders, world leaders.
ये तो सरकार को जवाब देना चाहिए. सरकार के संबंध होते हैं, हमारी एम्बेसी है और सरकार के संबंध होते हैं और सरकार जर्मनी के साथ और यूरोप के और जितने देश हैं उनके साथ हमारे देश के अच्छे संबंध हैं. तो वहां पर अगर कोई ऐसी प्रतिक्रिया करता है, ऐसा प्रश्न उठाता है, तो उसका जवाब हम कैसे देंगे? उसका जवाब तो सरकार को देना चाहिए.
There is a man who has fled this country, who's in the middle of several controversies. He sits in foreign land and he's speaking in a democratic semblance, in a democratic system. He's speaking against a political leader like Rahul Gandhi. He's threatening him. What action is Kiran Rijiju willing to take?
Drawing the Lakshman Rekha, the BJP made it clear that it will not tolerate foreign intervention on these internal issues. Listen in.
मुझे लगता है ये विदेशी लोगों को ज्ञान का अभाव है। उनको एक तो हमारे लोकतंत्र में हस्तक्षेप करने की कोई भी जरूरत नहीं है। हमारा लोकतंत्र अपने आप में मजबूत है। और जिस कांग्रेस के राहुल गांधी के लिए वो बात कर रहे हैं, उनको ध्यान होना चाहिए 13-14 के अंदर 35 लोगों के विधायकों की और 4 सांसदों की इसी प्रकार से सदस्यता गई थी। ऑलरेडी जो भी न्यायपालिका का ऑर्डर होता है उसको पालन करना होता है, उसके आधार पर ही उनकी सदस्यता गई है। इसके लिए मुझे लगता है कि इस गांधी परिवार का या उनके स्पेशलारों का कहीं ना कहीं लोकतंत्र से विश्वास हट गया है। इस कारण से जो उन्होंने विदेशों से मदद मांगते हैं, मुझे लगता है कि ये देश विरोधी भावनाएं जो इनकी है, गांधी परिवार के प्रति आस्था है, वो दिखाई दी।
So the legitimate question we are asking on the Newshour tonight, Congress foreign powers ke bharose? That's the question and the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the Newshour at 9, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
And joining the debate tonight, Nalin Kohli, national spokesperson of the BJP, Tushar Gupta, senior editor at the Swarajya magazine, Sushil Pandit, activist. Also joining me tonight, Karthik Reddy, national spokesperson of the BRS, Nikhil Jain, advocate. But my first question goes to Mr. Kamru Zaman Chaudhary, leader of the Congress party. And Mr. Kamru Zaman Chaudhary, do you also want to congratulate Germany? Digvijay Singh has done so. Are you very happy now you're getting help not from within the country but from outside the country? So Kamru Zaman Chaudhary, new benchmarks being set by the Congress party?
Well, Navika, good evening to you and my fellow panelists out here. You know, today after Germany criticized India, I feel most of my nation will be feeling the same way as I do. It's time to introspect rather than play the victim card and play the blame game. Why has Germany or what authority has Germany to criticize India? We can say that. What right had Narendra Modi ji to interfere in America's election in the Howdy Modi campaign, where he was campaigning for Trump Sarkar? That apart. But then, you know, despite putting so many billions of dollars of business on the line, why will any country like the US or the Germany criticize India on a particular topic which it feels it should have interfered? Because all of us, rather most of us, feel that whatever is going on in India right now needs to be corrected. We need to introspect. Somewhere or the other we are going wrong being vindictive, in particular in the Rahul Gandhi's case. Rahul Gandhi is not the only case where the government has shown its vindictiveness. There are hundreds of numerous examples in the country where people have been are languishing in jails just because they dared to criticize the government on its policies or oppose their laws or oppose their directives.
Kamru Zaman Chaudhary, so you're saying Digvijay Singh was right. You haven't tweeted, but did you actually call up and congratulate Mr. Digvijay Singh? But that apart, you raised a point about the Prime Minister and his statement at the Howdy Trump. I want to play out that bite because a lot of misinformation has done the rounds on that. I want to play that out, not just for you, but also for the viewers of Times Now. Listen in to what exactly Prime Minister Modi said at that event with Trump.
We in India have connected well with President Trump. The words of candidate Trump, अब की बार ट्रंप सरकार, rang loud and clear.
In the words of candidate Trump, ab ki baar Trump sarkar. he was quoting candidate Trump. But of course, minor issues about facts do not bother the Congress party. So Nalin Kohli, my question to you is, they are saying कि भाई आप don't object to Germany and US statements, you should actually get into an introspection mode. How do you respond?
Before I get to the merits, Navika ji, I was actually just recalling from memory, and then I'm grateful I found it on the net. In 2014, Mr. T.H. Mustafa, a senior Congress leader from Kerala and a former minister, called Rahul Gandhi ji a joker. Now, if by the logic of what Kamru ji is saying that a statement comes from somewhere you should introspect, so I am very curious what was the introspection the Congress party did in terms of Mr. Rahul Gandhi being called a joker by his own party. So, I mean, these kind of excuses that the Congress party is today taking, picking up a sentence here and then looking for redemption and then making it a bigger story, is something that exposes the inherent Congress insecurity about being out of power, not recognizing the reality that the people of India are rejecting them. And let me answer this in a clear way. Why? What is Mr. Rahul Gandhi? First, why is today foreign countries commenting on it? Because Mr. Rahul Gandhi wanted the interference of foreign countries in India's democracy. Why is Mr. Rahul Gandhi disqualified? Because he's been convicted by a court. Why has the court convicted him? Because he was intemperate with his words in 2019 when he said people with the surname of Modi, why are they all thieves? The court, somebody filed a complaint, due process is followed. After 5 years, he is convicted, and as per the law, which is the Representation of People's Act, Section 8, Subsection 3, he gets disqualified immediately. So now, the Congress party and Mr. Rahul Gandhi specifically says, ये सत्य की लड़ाई है, ये देश हित की लड़ाई है, मैं डरने वाला नहीं हूं. So I want to know, calling an OBC community, the Modi community, ये सारे चोर है, देश हित की लड़ाई है, सत्य की लड़ाई है. And this is why democracy is in danger for due process of law being followed. And what does the Congress party expect? That Article 14 of the Constitution, which is equality before law, should be thrown in the dustbin because they have a first family, which is the Nehru-Gandhi family. So there should be a separate set of rules for Mr. Rahul Gandhi. I mean, where are we heading? If anything else, I think we don't need introspection. Either the world would be looking at laughing at what the Congress party's position is, or the other thing is that the Congress party will be crying after the people of India who love India, citizens who care for India, who believe in the sovereignty of India, who have self-respect in themselves, will neither forgive nor forget the Congress leaders for this kind of genuflection that they are doing towards foreign powers to have interference in India's democracy because the voters of India are rejecting them. They have no answer to Narendra Modi. That is their problem. They are internally ridden with, I don't know, hatred or dislike for Prime Minister Modi, because Modi's model is very different. He doesn't come from a privileged family. He is from poverty, risen through the ranks. अरे ये कैसे पहुंच गए वहां पे? That's why he is नीच. That's why he's गंदी का नाली का कीड़ा. That's why he is Hitler. That's why he's निपुंसक. Because he doesn't belong to an august family. Then what is his model? His model is सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास, सबका प्रयास. Development, development, development. लाभार्थियों तक everything should reach. The Congress has no model in this. They have favoring a single family. So when they have no model, they reject the voters, they reject the people, and they look to foreign powers for interference. No self-respecting Indian will ever forget or forgive this. And they will know this through the elections that are coming.
Well, Mr. Karthik Reddy, do you think...
Can I respond?
I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you.
Hello, Navika.
Karthik Reddy, do you really think a fine line has been crossed? The fact is, when leaders in India, and no less than a former two-time Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, actually thanks Germany for a statement made by them, which actually is a note on the internal matters of the country. Thank you. Do you think that really, in a year when G20 presidency is with India and India is striving hard, to catch on to lost chances, go up the ladder in the world system, this comes as just so unfortunate that we within our country are actually trying to pull India down?
Good evening, Navika ji. Through you, I want to wish the country a very, very happy Sri Ramanavami. Navika ji, on record, I have been very clear that we reject any kind of foreign intervention into India, especially our political and cultural matters. We are a proud country with proud people, especially with a proud history. We do not like or we do not take intervention of foreign powers or foreign people in any good taste. Everything said and done, I am no spokesperson of the Congress party or Mr. Digvijay Singh. I would like the comments left for what Mr. Digvijay Singh said to the Congress party or at least to the BJP. But I have certain opinions regarding what happened in the last week or so. Navika ji, there is a fine line between intervention and insinuation. Let me explain. Let's assume in a house two brothers are fighting and the neighbors barge in and try to beat up the elder brother for beating up the younger brother. That is intervention. And if the neighbors insinuate or suggest that you should stop fighting, that is insinuation. And today, Navika ji, what is happening with the foreign countries, especially America, or what happened in the German parliament today, I believe they have been insinuating, they have been hinting that we are kind of taking note in what's happening in India. And I do not believe that is intervention. And Navika ji, we cannot be selective in our outrage. The reason I say this, we should reject any kind of foreign intervention, as I said clearly. But if you remember many years back, when Mr. Trump has offered to get involved in the Jammu Kashmir affairs to the Prime Minister himself, on record, I read it in one of the news articles, it said Trump offered 8 times to solve the Jammu Kashmir matter. I want to ask you, through you to the country and especially to my friends in the BJP, what is that was intervention, insinuation or interpolation? What Rahul Gandhi has said, especially asking for foreign intervention, is absolutely wrong. But we cannot be selective in our outrage. We cannot be subjective in our outrage. Whatever foreign intervention it is or whatever kind should be rejected, if it is for political reasons targeting Rahul Gandhi or not.
Well, Germany says they are going to watch India's internal matters in the courts. But nobody has gone to a higher court. And that remedy is available. In the meanwhile, insinuation, intervention, interpolation and all sorts of issues have been raised by Mr. Karthik Reddy. How do you respond, Tushar?
You know, Navika, giving a philosophical spin to one's arguments doesn't add to the credibility of that argument. Nevertheless, you're quite right when you say, why is no one approaching the higher courts? And I have a different perspective on this. You know, Digvijay Singh is a seasoned politician. I would like to believe that he understands that welcoming foreign intervention would hurt the party's prospects in the long term. At least that's what I would like to think. I would also like to believe that regional parties or the national parties, irrespective of their inclination, irrespective of their fights against each other, political fights against each other, are patriotic to the core. They think in the national interest. That's what I'd like to believe. Now, my question is, 2. Rahul Gandhi, who is advising Rahul Gandhi? That's my important point, because he's not filed a review petition so far. They want to shout about the disqualification, they want to make it an issue, but they do not want to approach the higher courts. They do not want to file a review petition. So Navika, my question is, are there people within the Congress that want Rahul Gandhi to fail? Is the party invisible to us currently for a split? Because Congress, as I like to see, is made up of seasoned politicians, and even an average politician or an outsider like me will tell you that all you had to do was file a review petition, stop the disqualification. None of it was done. Question number 2, Congress just finished their Bharat Jodo Yatra. Their spokespersons claim that there are regional parties that are coming along with them. Now, Samajwadi Party, a land which they come from, was about freedom fighters. Will they want to go to their electorate and say, we are backing a party, a leader in 2024 elections who welcomes foreign intervention? Mr. Reddy is sitting here. He comes from Hyderabad, a land of freedom fighters. Would he like to go to his electorate and say, we are backing a party that welcomes foreign intervention? Same goes for Bihar. Same goes for Maharashtra. This country, you look at any corner, it's made up of freedom fighters. Which regional party would like to back the Congress with their stance of foreign intervention being like this? You can give all the philosophical spins you want to, but my question, Navika, is just twofold. One, who's advising Rahul Gandhi and do they want him to fail? And two, how do you expect the regional parties to let Congress lead their coalition in 2024 if Congress is going to be proud about foreign intervention in Indian democratic institutions?
Well, the question is very simply, Mr. Nikhil Jain, simply about, should we be crowing about the fact that there are international observations and there has been a trend? I don't know if I'm being the devil's advocate, but I want to point out, are these mere coincidences that George Soros a few weeks ago says that they want a democratic revival? Then there are statements by Mr. Rahul Gandhi, and then Germany makes an observation, US makes an observation. I'm just asking, at the drop of a hat, there are two issues that used to be raised in this country. One is about secularism, and today it's about democracy. Earlier, there was, a political divide based on who's secular and who's not secular. Today, it is about who's democratic and who's not democratic. You have the anti-CAA protests, democracy is in danger. You have the farmer protests, democracy is in danger. You have Article 370, democracy is in danger. Now, the latest is with this verdict that comes from a court where nobody is going to a higher court, again democracy is in danger. Are we crying wolf just far too often?
So Navika, you've made a lot of the points that I wanted to make myself. You look at the way this government dealt with the farmer protest, they dealt with the CAA protest, they dealt with this abrogation of Article 370. The very character with which the BJP works is very autocratic and tyrannical. And we must understand that India, through the hard work of the past 70 years of government, and that is Congress governments as well as the Bajpayee government, India is now a very important partner in the international dialogue on global policy and democracy, right? So no matter what Rahul Gandhi or any politician in India, including Mr. Modi, says or does not say, the world is looking at us. The world is looking whether we are a country on the right path or whether we are a country who's sliding down the democracy ratings. So I would say that it is the BJP and Mr. Modi's policies and the way they implement power at their hands that is defaming the Indian government and the Indian people at the international stage. Look at the statements that were made by the foreign ministry during the Rihanna incident. It is just one random celebrity. She's not an ambassador, she's not a government person, she's not a country, but the entire might of the Indian foreign ministry and the entire establishment got onto her nerves. And that is, do you think that brought great repute to India? No, it did not, right? Mr. Modi
you're comparing the Rihanna incident with this. You're comparing the Rihanna incident with this, my friend. Have we lost our perspective?
When we make what I'm trying to point out is that the statements issued by US and Germany are statements that were made in context of the disqualification of a top leader of opposition in this country. They were not because Rahul Gandhi made some statement in Cambridge or at some other place calling for foreign intervention, which by the way he did not. So this is, we have to understand that when these countries are supposedly intervening in India's affairs, that is not on account of what Mr. Gandhi says, that is on account of what this government is doing.
But my friend, you're an advocate. You are an advocate, Nikhil Jain. I want to ask you, Nikhil Jain, as an advocate, do you have faith in the courts of this country, yes or no? Yes or no?
Can't be so simplistic.
No, yes or no? Kamruzaman Chaudhary, for politicians, it's never simplistic. I'm asking the advocate.
So if I say the truth, I'll be in contempt, and if I lie, so I cannot lie.
Okay, so that says a lot.
So
The redressal lies in the courts, but you will sit here and decide.
Trying to say,
Navika, I have a point to make.
I know, Tushar, but Sushil Pandit coming in before you, he hasn't spoken yet. Sushil Pandit, Nikhil Jain, the great lawyer, the great advocate, has virtually no trust in the courts because he says, if he can't say the truth and he won't lie.
That is not what I said. That is not what I said.
So what did you say?
There are instances when judges at all levels of the hierarchy.
If the courts decide according to my whims and fancies, I have faith in the courts. And if they don't, then I would prevaricate about it instead of taking an open position because I have a license to practice at stake. Now, this is the kind of morality and logic people come from. Bigger issue is that you are in denial. There is a very stark and clear invocation of foreign governments into Indian democracy when this man was on tour in Europe, in UK. He very clearly said that Europe is doing nothing about it. And democracy in India is at stake. He has very clearly invited this intervention and that invitation has been gladly accepted and this acceptance of the invitation has also been thanked, gleefully lapped up by senior leaders of Congress. This shows the level of desperation Congress is in. It wants allies, it has run out of allies in India, it wants allies from the foreign shores. It is a dangerous precedent. And the fact that two very important countries have actually fallen for the bait is disturbing. I know the reasons, I can speculate. India has charted its own foreign policy. On a critical issue like Ukraine, it's not towing the line of Europe, Western Europe or America, and they were looking for pretext to getting back at us, and this is something they find a good enough stick to beat us with. But be that as it may, we have to resolutely question their intervention in our political affairs. It is dangerous. We must also not forget that British monarch is right now in Germany. And we also know that there was a transfer of power to a chosen party and a family in India in 1947. We must connect the dots and see how colonial powers, empires of the past are rallying around the lackeys who they had chosen for rule of India. And they see that there is no chance, no electoral chance of these guys coming back through democratic means. Intervention is now an instrument. Every patriotic Indian has to question this. Indian foreign ministry, Indian diplomacy has to come down heavily on it. We cannot brook any such nonsense, whosoever it may be from. That has to be a very clear line.
Kamruzaman Chaudhary.
Domestic politics.
Opening up the debate, Kamruzaman Chaudhary. Kamruzaman Chaudhary is responding.
I'll make very quick few simple points out here. I am very much surprised at the inactivity or the inertia that is sent in with the Ministry of External Affairs. You tell me, Navika, the US envoy that was recently sent to India, Mr. Eric Garcetti, what is his comments on the Citizenship Amendment Act? Point number one. Point number two, when US German Chancellor came to India in February, what were the relationship? How was the relationship folding up with the Germany now? US is slated to honor Narendra Modi in June with state honors. Now Narendra Modi is slated to meet Joe Biden another 4 times before this meet. Now, do you think that India's foreign policy is so weak that Germany and America, for that matter, during Nupur Sharma's issue, the entire Gulf world was up in arms against India, and still then we say that we are a 56 inch ka power? Are we so chicken-hearted that a small country like Bhutan is threatening us nowadays? This is the level of degradation our foreign policy has gone
Nalin Kohli respond.
And still then we say that Germany should not have interfered in India's affairs.
Nalin Kohli, please respond.
It is a comment they made on India's response or vindictive attitude towards the largest
Mr. Kamru, may I?
party leader.
But Mr. Chaudhary, I might want to remind you that the statement came from a court and the redressal lies in 3 higher courts which the Congress hasn't opted for before it starts beating its chest on democracy being under threat. But Nalin Kohli respond. Nalin Kohli respond.
24 hours he has been disqualified from the parliament. Within another 24 hours he has been asked to vacate his house. Is this not vindictiveness?
Nalin Kohli.
So maybe there are 3-4 points to be done here. Mr. Kamaru Chaudhary, obviously the Congress legal team is hiding things from the spokespersons of the Congress, so you don't understand the law and you are painting a completely incorrect picture. So as a lawyer, I am constrained to give you the legal position. Section 8.3 says that the minute there is a conviction, the member shall stand disqualified. He is disqualified with the conviction of a 2-year sentence and above. Period. There used to be Section 8.4 which gave them the whole period to continue with their appeals. That was deleted or struck off by the Honorable Supreme Court in the Lily Thomas judgment in 2013. Mr. Rahul Gandhi then famously walked into Ajay Makhanji's press conference when the Manmohan Singh government brought an ordinance to protect members of parliament and give them a 3-month window. He tore that paper and said it deserves to be in the dustbin. This is karma catching up with Mr. Rahul Gandhi. He is probably the 33rd person to face the consequences, not the first. After courts have held MPs or members guilty of punishment, including MLAs. That is the law. The Representation of People's Act 1951, read with Article 102(1)(e) of the Constitution. Now what is interesting is Mr. Rahul Gandhi's team did not choose to be prepared with an appeal instantly to seek a stay of conviction. Till today they haven't moved the court. I think some people will wonder what is the strategy. Now let's come to the political allegation you are making. Whether that's a strategy, legal strategy, or is it deliberate? Second is, let's come to the political statement you are doing. What is the problem with the Congress? Let's address the fact. The fact is that Mr. Rahul Gandhi for 2 decades is being propped up as the heir of the Nehru Gandhi family, that he will be the leader of the Congress. He has not delivered you electoral victories. That's the basic fact. So once he doesn't deliver you electoral victories and the Congress party is desperate they should come to power, when the people of India are rejecting the Congress party and its leadership, democracy becomes in danger. How is it you win Himachal Pradesh, then the election commission is okay, the electronic voting machines are okay, but if you lose another election, the election commission is bad, the electronic voting machine is bad. How is it that the judiciary is independent when you like a judgment, and how is it that you find the judiciary motivated, under pressure, subservient when you don't like a judgment? Mr. Rahul Gandhi was warned by whom? The Supreme Court of India in 2018 for making incorrect statements on Rafale. Did he learn from it? No. Your problem is you have a leader who has no control on his tongue. And please take it that he will be in more and more trouble because he has no idea where to draw the line. I mean, he said just now on Bharat Jodo Yatra, महिलाओं के साथ अत्याचार हुआ, rape हुआ. When the police asked him, you say the BJP is harassing him. Did he provide any details? Does he not wish to protect women? Does he not want to see the perpetrators of crime be punished? So Mr. Rahul Gandhi is becoming a leader who can say anything anytime without possibly applying his mind, and he's facing the legal consequences.
And accountability, of course, when it comes to that, then it is vindictiveness. But let me Tushar Gupta also point out to you, you know what the Congress said when there were comments from foreign countries during the Anna Hazare movement? They said they will not tolerate any comments coming from foreign governments at that time. And this was when spokesperson of the US State Department, Victoria Nuland, said India should exercise appropriate democratic restraint. At that time, they had major objections to the statements and observations of the US State Department. Today, of course, the story is different. They want people to introspect. Introspection only comes into play when Modi is in power, not when the Congress is in power.
Remarkably rich of a party that has lost scores and scores of state assembly elections, 2 national elections under one leader, and they want the other party to introspect. Navika, the Congress party was right in 2012 to shun any foreign interference, but today they are desperate. Now, Mr. Kamruzaman Chaudhary was speaking elaborately about India's foreign policy and are we that chicken neck and whatnot. My question to Mr. Chaudhary is the Congress party that desperate that one of your seasoned or veteran politicians has to thank the German leader for making an intervention through Twitter? Is that desperate? Now, my question to Mr. Jain also, who says that the government was acting in an autocratic manner during the farmer protest. Mr. Jain, do we even know how many times there were cabinet ministers holding meetings with the farmers in Punjab before they came to Singhu? How many times there was a committee that interacted with the farmer representatives in the capital city of Delhi just to find out a solution? Though it wasn't in the spirit of policy making or a democracy, but they were given a fair chance. Now, Mr. Jain, I have another question for you. You say, no, hold on, please, let me complete. Mr. Jain, you say that if you say the truth, it will be the contempt of court. The same court very recently lashed out at the centre for the appointment of the Chief Election Commissioner. Would you say that was wrong? The same apex court gave bail to the Gandhis on the case of National Herald. Would you say that was wrong? What is the selective contempt that you believe in?
All right, respond, Nikhil Jain. Respond.
First of all, I was trying to make my statement clear earlier as well, that whatever hierarchy of court you talk about, whether it's the Supreme Court, the High Court or the trial courts, you have good judges, you have bad judges.
Now,
you
the
have
judges
good
are the
judges
problem.
who sometimes give a bad judgment. Whenever there is a judgment of the court, that does not mean that's the final judgment, right? That is why you have the right of appeal.
Exactly the point. So, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, instead of questioning the Congress party, instead of questioning democracy, should they just not go to a higher court? Because many legal experts feel that he will get a stay for the asking. Then why is he not going to a higher court, and why is he making a spectacle of India's democracy in the foreign world?
When the Congress party questions democracy sliding in the country, it is not just on account of the way the judiciary is acting. It is primarily on account of the way the other independent institutions and the central government itself is acting. The panelists before me...
So the goalposts have now changed.
No, Mr. Jain, how do you explain the victories of the Congress party in Himachal Pradesh? They fought the election of Himachal Pradesh and Gujarat simultaneously. They got a severe beating in Gujarat. They won in Himachal Pradesh. Now, will you stay with a straight face that there is no belief in the election commission by the Congress? Will you say that? Will you say that? Now, you said there were no faith in the democratic
there is no democracy in the country. What we are saying is that we are democracy rankings in India are sliding.
Okay, another shift in
across the world.
All right. So Nikhil Jain says nobody is saying democracy is completely dead. There are indices that are actually sliding. Well, shift the goalposts, keep making convoluted theories, say you don't like foreign intervention when you are in power, but laud and applaud foreign intervention when you are in the opposition. Well, it is convenient politics by the Congress party. But is the country seeing through this? Well, we hope they are. And we'll see what the Janta, what the public really has to say. Thanking all my panelists joining me on debate number 1.